Welcome to Exposed and Broken YouTube channel. We uncover the secrets of love, betrayal, and the choices that change everything.
You know, life has this funny way of sneaking up on you when you least expect it. One moment, everything feels normal, routine, even, and the next, it's like the ground beneath your feet just gives way. That's exactly what happened to me. And it all started with a letter. It was a Tuesday. I remember because Tuesdays were always the quietest days in our house. My husband, Mark, was at work and the kids were at school. I had the house to myself, which was rare, and I was actually looking forward to a day of peace. I had just made myself a cup of tea and was sitting by the window, watching the rain drizzle down, when I heard the mail slot clatter. I wasn't expecting anything, just the usual bills and junk mail, I figured. But as I sifted through the pile, there it was, a plain white envelope with my name on it. No return address, no stamp. Just my name, written in a shaky, almost hesitant hand. I don't know why, but my stomach dropped the moment I saw it. Something about it felt off. I opened it slowly, my hands trembling for reasons I couldn't explain. Inside was a single sheet of paper, and on it, just one sentence, "I know what you've done." That's it. No signature, no explanation. Just those 5 words. At first, I laughed. I mean, it had to be some kind of prank, right? But the more I stared at it, the more uneasy I felt. Because the truth is, I had done something. Something I thought no one else knew about. Let me back up a bit. My name's Claire. I'm 38, married to Mark for 12 years, and we have 2 kids, Emma, who's 10, and Ben, who's 7. On the surface, we're your typical suburban family. Mark works in finance, I run a small photography business from home, and our lives are filled with soccer games, PTA meetings, and family dinners. It's a good life. Or at least, it was. About 6 months before that letter arrived, Mark's best friend, Adam, moved back to town. Adam and Mark had been inseparable in college, but after graduation, Adam moved to the city and we didn't see much of him. When he came back, Mark was thrilled. He invited Adam over for dinner, and just like that, he became a regular fixture in our lives. Adam was, well, he was everything Mark wasn't. Where Mark was steady and dependable, Adam was wild and unpredictable. He had this energy about him, this way of making you feel like you were the only person in the room when he talked to you. And, God help me, I was drawn to him. It started innocently enough. A shared joke here, a lingering glance there. But over time, those moments grew longer, more intense. I told myself it was harmless. I loved Mark. I loved our family. But there was something about Adam that made me feel alive in a way I hadn't in years. One night, after Mark had gone to bed, Adam and I stayed up talking. We were sitting on the back porch, the air thick with the scent of rain, and he looked at me in a way that made my heart stop. "Claire," he said, his voice low, "do you ever feel like you're stuck? Like there's this whole other life out there waiting for you, but you're too afraid to reach for it?" I didn't know what to say. Because, yes, I did feel that way. But admitting it felt like a betrayal. So I just nodded, and before I knew it, he was kissing me. It was just one kiss. One moment of weakness. But it was enough to shatter everything. After that night, I avoided Adam as much as I could. I told myself it was a mistake, that it would never happen again. And it didn't. But the guilt was unbearable. Every time Mark smiled at me, every time the kids hugged me, I felt like the worst person in the world. I thought I could bury it, pretend it never happened. But then that letter arrived. I sat there for what felt like hours, just staring at those words. "I know what you've done." Who could have sent it? Adam? No, he wouldn't. He had too much to lose. But if not him, then who? My mind raced through every possibility, every interaction I'd had over the past few months. Had someone seen us that night? Was it one of the neighbors? A friend? I felt like I was being watched, like the walls were closing in on me. When Mark came home that evening, I tried to act normal, but I could tell he knew something was off. "You okay?" he asked, his brow furrowed with concern. "Yeah," I said, forcing a smile. "Just tired." He didn't push, but I could feel his eyes on me all night. And the letter. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I hid it in the back of a drawer, but its presence lingered, like a shadow I couldn't escape. The next few days were torture. Every time the phone rang, every time I saw someone glance my way, I felt like they knew. Like they were judging me. I started to unravel, snapping at the kids, avoiding Mark's touch. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. And then, a week later, another letter arrived. This one was more direct: "Tell him, or I will." I felt sick. Whoever this was, they weren't going to let it go. I had no choice. I had to tell Mark. That night, after the kids were in bed, I sat him down. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold my glass of water. "Mark," I began, my voice barely above a whisper, "there's something I need to tell you." He looked at me, his face a mix of confusion and concern. "What is it?" I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself. I made a mistake. A big one. And I'm so sorry." His expression changed in an instant. The concern was gone, replaced by something harder, colder. "What kind of mistake?" he asked, his voice tight. I couldn't look at him. "It was Adam," I said, the words tumbling out in a rush. "It was just one kiss. It didn't mean anything. But I thought you should know." For a moment, he didn't say anything. He just sat there, staring at me like he didn't recognize me. And then, quietly, he said, "Get out. Mark, please, get out." I spent that night at a motel, crying until I couldn't breathe. The next morning, I went back to the house to get my things, but Mark wouldn't even look at me. He just handed me a suitcase and closed the door. I haven't seen him since. It's been 6 months now. I'm living in a tiny apartment on the other side of town, trying to piece my life back together. The kids stay with Mark most of the time, but I see them on weekends. They don't understand what happened, and I don't know how to explain it to them. As for Adam, I haven't spoken to him since that night. I heard he moved away again, but I don't know where. Part of me wonders if he was the one who sent the letters, but I'll probably never know. What I do know is that I made a mistake, a terrible, selfish mistake, and I'm paying the price for it. I lost my husband, my family, my home. And for what? A moment of weakness? A fleeting spark? If I could go back, I'd do everything differently. But life doesn't give you do-overs. All you can do is pick up the pieces and try to move forward. So that's what I'm doing. One day at a time.